So the class is broken down into three major parts. There's the warm-up, then we go into exercises, and then we go into the scenes or monologues. Now the warm-up is really important because when you go in to play a sport, you're going to run, you're going to play football, you're going to play tennis. You're always going to stretch out. You're going to hit some balls back and forth. You're going to throw the ball. You're going to play catch. We'll first warm up our voices with some mms and some mahs. Ma, 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 ma. And then we'll do the combination vowels, which are called diphthongs, into mame mime mime muma tate tite tatu tuta. Mame mime mime muma. Mame mime mime muma. Ah! Ah! Hey 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 ho ho ho. And we'll just play with all of those luscious sounds, because a lot of times the exploration of the sound leads to kind of characters that come out and phrases that will come out. We'll do the mame mime my, well ma, look what the cat drug in. And then everyone will go around and do that. Then after the warm-up, I'll say, do we have any Shakespeare challengers, where you have to take a piece of Shakespeare and you have to spoon feed it to someone who's never maybe spoken that particular soliloquy, or maybe has never spoken Shakespeare at all. Now Shakespeare is written in iambic pentameter, ba-bum, 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 and that's how you learn it. But when you have to spoon feed it to someone, you have to go against the meter. In order to go against the meter, you have to know it inside out and backwards.
Die with us.
Die with us.
This day.
This day.
Is called the Feast of Crispian.
It's called the Feast of Crispian.
He that sees this day.
He that sees this day.
And comes safe home.
If it's the prologue to Romeo and Juliet, two households, both alike in dignity, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean. So you'll spoon feed it to the person, and you'll go, two households! And people in the circle will go, two households in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. And you're never going to perform it like that, but you explore the vowel combinations and the plosives and the S's that turn into Z's. Once the speech has been completed, then I'll throw it to the actor, that everyone else will sit down. The warm-up will be officially over, except for the one actor that accepted the Shakespeare challenge. Then they get to work some more, and they do the as if Shakespeare, and I'll say, okay, now do the first part of Romeo and Juliet, the prologue, as a Baptist preacher. Or do it like a really nervous actor. Then we go into exercises, which are improv-based exercises that I refer to as intention exercises, where I'll give an actor a super objective that they need to achieve, and the super objective will be, well, I'm your father, and you're my son, and I left the family for another woman, and I made the biggest mistake of my life, and a year has passed, and that woman has thrown me over, and I have begged your mother to please let me come home. But when I left, this 14-year-old, 15-year-old boy had to become the man of the house, and mom was a mess, and he hates me. This son of mine hates me, and the mom has said, I will allow you to come home, but you have to convince Brandon. And then with improvisation, I have to convince you to allow me to come home. And I'm going to use all these different tacks to try and win. Your task as the disgruntled son is to not let me come home, but you just can't say no, 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 no. You have to come up with reasons. My job is to try to win, try to convince you. Your job is to deny me. Now, if the author says I lose, if in the scripted version of the scene the author says I lose, the point of the intention exercise is to sharpen your skills so that even if you lose, we have to see you try and win. So by the time we finish up with the warm-up, with the Shakespeare challenge, with the As If Shakespeare, and we go through a couple of 2-3 intention exercises, we're really ready to work. Then we get down to the nitty-gritty, which is the scene work. Now, when you first do a scene in my class, you can bring the paper in, you can do a first read. In fact, I encourage people to do that because it allows them, you know, it's not a cold reading, it's not a cold read class, it's a scene study class. So I want you to have met with your scene partner. You don't need to be completely off book, but you'd better be pretty well prepared. Read the scene, then you're going to sit down. I'm going to give you some notes, some things I want you to think about. I'm going to grill you on why you're doing this. Why did you yell there? Why did you seem so sad here? What's the justification? Why are you using that prop? Do you absolutely need that prop? If in my class, if you bring out a prop, you'd better be able to explain why you're using it, or I'm going to give you heat for it. Then I'll send them away. When they come back the next week, it must be off book. In my class, you're allowed to set the lights. You're allowed to costume it. You're allowed to make it as close to a scene that you would see on a Broadway stage as possible. And we've had some very, very elaborate setups in the past. We've had whole acts, first acts of plays. We've had scenes of 25 pages, 35 pages, scenes that go on for 45 minutes, scenes that go on for 8 minutes. Then they'll present the scene. I'll tell them what I think. I'll ask them questions again. Why did you do this? What's the justification for that? And I will probably send it away again to have those questions answered, and then they'll bring it back again. And that can go on 3-4 times, but I've had scenes, I think the record is like 14 times coming back with a scene from The Crucible by Arthur Miller. People still talk about how many times I wanted that scene back, and I wasn't doing it to be a jerk. I was doing it because I thought it could get better, and each time it did get better. That is really the form of the class. It's a long class. It goes from 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Today we went till 4 in the afternoon. Very often it goes over.
And you didn't even do intention exercises. It was just all scene work.
We had so much scene work the last couple. Well, since the beginning of the year, we've had 8 scenes, 10 scenes, and I never schedule anything for after class. Because if we're going to go longer, we're going to go longer. Those are the kinds of classes I love. When I was in New York, class would go from 7 to 11 or 11:30, and very often we wouldn't get out till 2 in the morning, which was great about New York because the bars were open till 4. We go till 3 or 4 or 5 sometimes, and that's really the whole makeup of a typical class here at the workshop.